As a painter, there's a lot of drywall repair that needs to be done before you can paint. And a lot of it involves failed tape, be it mesh or paper. It pops, bubbles, wrinkles, falls down. As in this case, it just literally just fell down off the ceiling. So there's a bunch of reasons why this could happen. Technique is a lot of it. Lots of times ceilings don't get strapped, and the drywalls, they attempt to just screw it to the rafters. Water damage is a common one. Or it's just not screwed off well enough. And you have this, which is what's going on right here. This one sheet is bouncy, and this other sheet is fairly connected well. What appears to have happened here is the drywaller drove the screws through the paper of the drywall, and it wasn't attached well enough to the framing underneath, because the paper is really what holds the screw against the paper is what holds the drywall up. Once you go through the paper, there's not enough strength there, and gravity will just cause it to fall down and get loose like this, and then it pulls the tape and the mud with it, and you have pop tape, bubbling tape, cracks. What we need to do here is just screw this sheet back off so it doesn't bounce around and it's nice and steady. And we'll go pretty much in the same areas because it's in the strapping. They just went too far. So we'll do one on each side of the seam. Just want to go far enough so it dimples into the paper, doesn't break it, but it's not sticking out. So they make screw guns for drywallers that has a bit on the end of it that will actually stop the screw in just the right place. I'm not a drywaller, I don't have one, so you just gotta be careful and slow it down as you get close, and you can, and this is what happens when you drive it through. It's still doing nothing. So you want to put one in so it just catches the paper. Okay, so the other issue that this tape joint had was there was clearly not enough joint compound applied to the seam prior to applying the tape. And you really want to back butter it and force it into this crack so you know it's loaded up and you got a good amount of joint compound bridging the gap between the two sheets. That would be the first step. I would clear this stuff out of the way so there's nothing getting in the way of your tape on both sides. It also seems to me like this might not have been primed real well. Not seeing any primer on the sheetrock out here where the mud and tape weren't. So they probably just used sealing paint over raw sheetrock without primer. That would be my guess. So that doesn't help either. But you don't want paint underneath your mud, regardless. The taping gets done before the painting, but I'm just pointing out another flaw in this sealing. So yeah, once you get it cleaned up real good and screwed off appropriately, seems like it's pretty good. I'll probably put one here. Looks like the paper was broken on this screw, so that's a good spot to add another one. And then I think we'll be ready to roll with retaping this joint. And just go out a little further, get away from the damaged area. There. So that's in there. Nice. Paper's not broken, and it's nice and solid. Okay, so here's the screw that I just put in to reattach this sheet, which is not bouncing anymore. And you can see the screw is just below flush with the paper. So the paper's not broken, your knife's not going to catch it. Here's the hole where the screw got driven through the paper and it wasn't properly supporting the sheet, so there was movement there. So we've eliminated the movement by putting a screw in properly, not too deep, just deep enough. We've addressed the problem here. We've got both sheets screwed off, so they're nice and tight to the framing, and so we're ready to re-tape this seam.